back to Pietermaritzburg. That's the police station there, where just a short while ago, the former president, Jacob Zuma, and accompanied by his legal team and some of the security detail arrived. They are inside that building. Lethiwe Mdluli, our reporter, is tracking that story. We saw them arriving a little bit earlier. And Lethiwe, just a short while ago, we brought our viewers the visuals from inside the building. What's the latest you can tell us? We understand, of course, we can't go into the room where the charge is being laid, the case is being opened.
Africa, please.
Well, at the moment, Braden, we actually have been called inside just to witness the former president opening the charge against the lead state prosecutor, Billy Downer. His security has told us that we will be allowed to see those visuals. They are currently holding just a short briefing with us, explaining to us what is going to happen moving forward. But what we do know is that the former president is opening a case against...
No, look, we just need the cameras on there.
Okay, so we've been told that they only just need cameras inside, so I will have to be outside, and then my camera operator, my colleague, will have to go inside and get those visuals for you.
Okay, so are they going to allow the cameraman inside the station commission secretary office or whatever is happening there, or are you going to go inside?
They will be allowing us only cameras inside, but then because of the space limitations inside. So at the moment, just stick with our visuals. You'll see we will be heading inside just shortly. Unfortunately, I will have to stand behind.
Okay, we understand that. So the cameraman will be allowed inside, but not the reporter.
And to take off
okay, we're going to stay with this. We're going to stay with these live visuals.
Outside, there's a lot of people, journalists want to make their way inside and see the president laying the charge, but we've been told that only cameras will be allowed inside. So just stay with our visuals. We will be allowed to go inside just in a short while.
Okay, we got that loud and clearly too. I hope you can hear me. Outside the door of the station commander's secretary's office will wait, and apparently they're going to allow the cameras only, not the reporters, in a short while to come in, to go inside and capture what's happening there with the former president, Jacob Zuma, as he's laying a criminal complaint against prosecutor Billy Downer this afternoon. And Zuma and his legal team want Billy Downer, that's the former president, he wants Downer to be held criminally liable for allegedly disclosing his health information. Please, we apologize for so much movement because, you know, there's a lot of movement there. The cameraman trying to make his way inside. There you've got the visual there of what's taking place. We're going to stay with that visual. That's inside the Pietermaritzburg police station. There is the former president, and there's a daughter there, Duduzile. That's whom I can recognize, fortunately, because she's not wearing a mask currently. And I think I saw Mzwanele Manyi, who's currently running the Jacob Zuma Foundation on the other side. There you go. They're on the other side of the table. And I think there's the police station commander there who's receiving the charge. I cannot identify the other gentleman with a red tie next to Mr. Mzwanele Manyi. He could be part of the police stations. And I suspect and I assume that the man seated to the right of Duduzile, the end of the table to the right, then the same side with the former president, might be his lawyer, the lawyers that who are working with him on this case. I just can't recall the name of the lawyer just now. So we're going to keep this visuals going for you. Unfortunately, as you heard, if you were listening a short while ago, our reporter Lethiwe Mdluli and other journalists were not allowed inside, just the camera. And I even heard one of the security details saying no phones, just the camera to capture the images. Oh, now we're seeing some movement. It looks like reporters are now being let inside. Let's just stay with this. We're going to stay with this for now. There's too much movement, but this is live television. We're trying to capture this moment as best as we can to bring you, our viewer, the latest information and the developments as it unfolds in this case, which, of course, has grabbed the attention of the country, simply because next week, of course, in the Pietermaritzburg High Court, the Judge Kuhn is supposed to make a ruling about a special plea that the former president has made. One of them is about the recusal of Billy Downer from this corruption trial. And let's try and see my colleague Lethiwe Mdluli coming into frame here. Lethiwe, can you hear me? We did see what was happening inside. Thankfully, the cameramen, as you said, were allowed in. We saw the visuals of the former president accompanied by his daughter, Duduzile. We also saw the head of the Jacob Zuma Foundation, Mr. Mdluli, and I assume the lawyer there as well, and the police commander receiving that charge that's being laid.
Yes, Praten. So at the moment, they are still inside. Only cameras were allowed in, so we weren't able to see those visuals as reporters. But as you did mention, some of his legal team members and also some of his members from the Jacob Zuma Foundation are currently inside opening the charge. But just to elaborate further on exactly why the team is opening this charge today against the state prosecutor, Billy Downer, the legal team last month did bring about an application to the Pietermaritzburg High Court where they wanted the lead prosecutor in Zuma's case to be removed, saying that or alleging that Billy Downer was the one who leaked information to the press about the former president's health records. So they do want the lead prosecutor in this case to be removed, and also right now they are saying that they want him to face some charges for that. But shortly after this, we will be in a briefing with the Jacob Zuma Foundation. There is a gazebo outside where we will go and then we'll get more information from the former president and also his legal team about what they are doing today.
Okay, now that briefing will be led by the foundation. Do we anticipate, he's there, we've seen him, do we anticipate the former president himself to also have a few words to say afterwards?
Well, they haven't actually shared any information whether he will be joining us on that briefing, but we are anticipating, because he is here, that he will join us. And just to make a mention, earlier on when I did cross with you around 1 p.m., there was no one outside the police station. None of his supporters were here. They were telling us that they were told not to come here. But shortly after that, or shortly after the former president arrived at the police station, we did see a few people who call themselves Jacob Zuma supporters arriving, and we had a chance to speak to Nkosentja Shezi, who is a staunch Zuma supporter, and he was saying that he is in support of what is happening right now, and he's hoping that on Tuesday, remember that on Tuesday the High Court will be releasing a judgment on whether Billy Downer will have to be removed from this case or not. And he was sharing, Shezi was sharing that they hope that the High Court will actually make the right decision in that matter. So we will be having a conversation with some of his supporters who are actually here today, but of course that will happen after the briefing by the Jacob Zuma Foundation.
Okay, Lethiwe, I don't want to lose you. We want to stay with this because it's a developing story. I'm sure you'll understand that as a journalist, and there might be more information you might want to share. But I just want to recap what we've seen in case any of our viewers has just joined us here on eNCA DSTV Channel 43. We are live inside the Pietermaritzburg police station, where as we speak, the former president Jacob Zuma, accompanied by the head of the Jacob Zuma Foundation, Mr. Mdluli, his daughter Duduzile, and also his lawyers are just laying a charge, opening that criminal complaint, laying a charge against prosecutor Billy Downer, whom they want to recuse himself from the corruption trial as a prosecutor. There is a special plea in front of the High Court, in front of Judge Kuhn, and who's supposed to make a ruling next week Tuesday about the recusal of Mr. Downer. But ahead of that, today, the former president has decided to lay a charge against Mr. Advocate Billy Downer, opening a criminal case. There are all kinds of legal ramifications and implications for this trial. We'll have to wait and see. And as Lethiwe Mdluli was telling us now a short while ago, the cameras were allowed inside just to capture the moment. We did bring you those live visuals a short while ago of the former president, his daughter Duduzile, Mr. Mdluli, who runs the Jacob Zuma Foundation, plus the lawyers. And Lethiwe, you were telling us, Lethiwe, you can still hear me, and we're seeing that there's a throng of journalists and media there waiting, like you, Lethiwe, and our cameraman. We're all waiting.
The former president's supporters here, Nkosentja Shezi, can you please just put on your mask for me? Thank you. So we're here today outside we're inside. Why are you here, and what are you hoping will happen?
Well, as you know, President Jacob Zuma is coming here once again to prove to South Africa that the system has always been turned against him. Not because he stole any money. President Jacob Zuma didn't steal, PPE's money like other people. President Jacob Zuma is here and he's always been targeted for standing up for black people in this country. Now he came here to exercise his rights to lay a charge against Billy Down, who has infringed on President Jacob Zuma's rights. And in fact, it vindicates our thinking that there is no court in South Africa that can, fairly judge President Jacob Zuma. You'd understand what has transpired in the Constitutional Court, the manner in which President Jacob Zuma's rights have been infringed by the most high courts in the land. President Jacob Zuma is the first person to go to jail without any trial, the first political prisoner of South Africa. But as we always said, that we are behind President Jacob Zuma, we will always support President Jacob Zuma. And when we support President Jacob Zuma, it's effortless, because in fact we are supporting ourselves, because we are President Jacob Zuma and he is a symbolic figure of our desire to take back our land that was stolen by the barrel of a gun in 1652, and the descendants of the thugs and murderers who came in 1652 are still occupying our territories. We're still landless, we're still languishing in poverty. The vast majority of African people in their own country, in the country of their origin, we still do not control any means of production. We are not in any kind of business.
Let me just stop you there for a minute. I just want to get your views on the application that was brought on by the former president's legal team last month. We understand that the High Court will be making a judgment on Tuesday. What are you hoping for Tuesday?
Well, we are very hopeful that the court will do the right thing and rule in our favor, will rule in the favor of President Jacob Zuma. Look, if there is any remnant of justice in South Africa, these charges against President Jacob Zuma should be squashed. President Jacob Zuma we should be talking about how do we get President Jacob Zuma to go back and finish his term of office as president and fix the mess that we find our country under. We are experiencing a high level of unemployment. Businesses are closing, and black people, in fact, we experienced 327 deaths of black people, and the president was fined wanting. So we want nothing less than a man who cares for the country to come back and finish the project that is started, the project of radical economic transformation.
Now, you were very critical of the ANC outside when we were having a conversation. The former president is currently campaigning, or is in talks to campaign for the ANC. Your views?
Of course, the African National Congress is the shield and the spear and the hope of the African majority. Outside the ANC, there's nothing. It would be easy for us who believe in RET to leave the ANC and make it and become a tuck shop somewhere. But that's not what we want. We want nothing less than the best. And what is best for the African majority and for the South African population is the ANC. But not just the ANC that will live up to the promise and the ideals of the Freedom Charter, the ANC that understand the historic mission of the Congress of the People, and that is to fight for the return of the land to the landowners, which is the African majority. The ANC that will care for the black child and black people, and not the ANC that will send soldiers to take property of black people against the laws of this country, which outlawed search and seizure, warrantless search and seizures.
We were hoping for some more supporters to be stationed outside the police station today, but we were told that it's just a few that were able to come. Is there a reason why there is no supporters outside?
Where are you hoping? Next time you should contact me so that you can organize more supporters. Look, we had not made any attempts to do that unless maybe you can assist us with resources. ETV is a big station. It's owned by rich men. They can assist us us, we can get more supporters. But President Jacob Zuma is loved by ordinary men and women of this country. In fact, even the intellects of this country, they understand that the man, if you want to fix this country, President Jacob Zuma is the man. The fact that they are not here, it does not mean that they do not support President Jacob Zuma. So we are here to support him, and behind us are the masses. I wish I could transport them to here, but it's not necessary. We have nothing to prove. It have been proven over and over, beyond any reasonable doubt, that President Jacob Zuma belongs to the masses, and the masses understand and loves him so much.
In terms of Tuesday, what can we expect from the supporters?
Well, of course, we will always come here to support President Jacob Zuma. We'll come in our numbers. Those who can get transport will come. There will be some transport arranged for those that can be able to use that transport will come here. We will always support President Jacob Zuma. Wherever President Jacob Zuma goes, we'll go. And we have vowed that he will never walk alone, because he represents us. And in him we see ourselves. And he is the slightest hope that we have that one day this country will recognize all people of this country, including the owners of this land, the African majority. At least we will always support President Jacob Zuma. You're welcome.
So, but then that was Gosenja Shezi, who's known as a big Jacob Zuma supporter, just basically elaborating on their support, saying that they will always support, and also saying that they do want the state advocate, Billy Downer, to be removed from this case. So at the moment, we are seeing that he is about to actually come out from the police station. So please stay with our visuals, and we will get those visuals for you. It looks like he is done inside, and they are getting out, so if you can stay with our visuals.
Yeah, I think Lethiwe, we will do so. We will stay with these visuals for now, and after you spoke there to Mr. Shezi, one of the very well-known open supporters of the former president, inside the Pietermaritzburg police station, we've seen the former president there, and one of his daughters, Dudu Zilo, has always been by her father's side recently, showing support all the time when they appear together in public on several occasions. We've seen Mr. Mzwanele Manyi, who is the head of the Jacob Zuma Foundation, and also we saw the lawyer of the president accompanying them inside that office of the station commander when they were receiving the charges. And the media there, we are there as well, together with the other journalists who are all anticipating any time now the former president and his entourage to leave that office. And we were told from what Lethiwe Mdluli has repeated earlier, if you missed it, that there will be a briefing outside the police station any time now once they leave by the Jacob Zuma Foundation.